So I've been trying to work on this manuscript for years now, and it feels like my dissertation, something I've never done, and I'm starting to both lose faith that I'll get it done and also examining why that is. And I think part of it has to do with that split of attention. There's something about the topic itself that keeps sliding out of my attention. So this piece of writing is what I've been loosely calling Minding the Invisible. And it was born out of the sense that we who are culture workers are meant to live in that liminal space between the mythic and the mundane, between the seen and the unseen, and to navigate that and to support other people in navigating that well. So I think of this work as an invitation to just consider not so much what the invisible actually is, but what it takes from a personal, first-person perspective to attend to it. I find myself having pretty strong beliefs about what it takes. Like, one of those beliefs is that you have to be resourced yourself, to drink from a deeper well, to have some practice of that in your daily life, because otherwise the fragmentation of attention is going to keep you just in your fight or flight, reacting to all of the things that are coming down the pipeline, and it's not going to get better. But instead, we have to constantly pay a deeper attention to how we reorient to that mess outside. So the need to drink from a deeper well. For me, the need to read poetry, to listen differently, to look into the eyes of my dog, to read science fiction, to be in deep connection and community. Those are the practices which I think are inherent to being able to navigate what is less visible. To pay attention to what I call the mythic and the mundane, the sensibility of knowing that those two things are deeply entwined, and that because we as human beings are sense-making creatures, we need the mythic frames to give us an overarching structure for our attention. And then beneath that, to realize that we as human beings are terribly bad at aligning our own motivations, beings, incentives, systems to what we actually want in the world. And that only by working the mythic and the mundane together do you get that integrity. I call working the mythic and the mundane seeing the hidden symmetries of things, which is an invitation, as Rilke said, to live in widening circles, to see the ways that things fit together, and to take a systems view. I think one of the things I like about myself, and also feel deeply challenged by in the way that those two things are deeply nested together, is that the scope of my attention crosses a lot of territory. And the very fact that the scope of my attention crosses a lot of territory drives me absolutely bonkers. And I think that that's what first opened me to this idea of the mythic and the mundane, by allowing something that is a deep creative endeavor of mine to arise and be shared and then disseminated in a way that's not mine anymore. So there's an element of that lives in the relational space of what does this look like for me as a woman, as a woman of color. It's a curiosity for me about what that will look like. And I think that when you work on something, it transforms you, right? This is one of the principles of minding the invisible. If you engage in something, with a real expectation of transformation. There has to be a fundamental reciprocity in that if you are working on transforming something else, you will also be changed by it.